Hey, Leland from Micro's Reptiles. This is going to be a really quick video. I've been getting a lot of people asking me about how I break down my cocoa and what do I do and how do I store it. So I'm going to do a really fast video about that and then just label it something about cocoa so you guys can all refer back to it. But anyhow, check out this video and enjoy. Alright, so this is the cocoa I use. Cocoa blocks from Freedom Breeder. Pretty simple. I just get out a screwdriver and I get out a pair of scissors, and then I'll show you how I cut this open. Okay, so I just start by cutting the bottom off, real easy. And this will fill this whole tub. So I usually just do one at a time. And my scissors are getting old, I guess. Just like that. And then I pull this paper out of the inside, just like that. And then I'll cut a few slits down the side, just to let it expand. But the reason I leave it in the plastic is I want it to catch all the water that's not going to be absorbed into the cocoa, because I don't want to have a bunch of water sitting down in my tub. Even though I have a nice grate down in the bottom to drain it out and to catch any of the fines. But the water just helps, for me, the water just helps the dust stay down. You could actually break this all apart without water. The newer cocoa blocks does break apart easier, but I break open the top like this, I pour water in there, and that just keeps the dust down. And so basically that's going to go in there, and then I'll pour it in there and I'll show you. And see, I built that little grate with 1/2 inch mesh and a couple of pieces of 2x1s. Just made a little frame, and then all that fines goes down there in the bottom, and that'll fill up after about 5 or 6 bricks. All right, so this is just 1 cup of hot water. And you can see it trickling down to the bottom. It goes through pretty quick, and then I just leave it there for about 20 minutes, and then I break it apart. So now at this point, I just take it and break it against itself to break it up. You get these big chunks like this, just smash it down, and it'll break completely apart. Okay, at this point you should be able to pull the bag off after you flip it over, and you just keep breaking it apart and smash it against itself just like that until this tub is full. Kind of hard to do with one hand. Okay, now that that's all broken down, what I like to do is take my handy dandy stirrer that I got from Ross. I think they use these at what do you call it, Panda Express, to cook the food in the woks. And then I pull it all over to the side and I hold it. That way I can let the bottom part dry with the air. And then I push it back over, let the other side dry with the air, and I always leave this lid open so I don't get anything moldy. It doesn't need to be wet at all while it's sitting here. So I just keep it dry, I store it dry. And typically I'll stick it into the tubs, and then I'll mist the tubs as I need it, as they're in shed. And then I also use these moss balls to stick up underneath their hide so they can get completely hydrated. How you doing, Chewbacca? Yeah, we're not eating. It's all right. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I set up this other tub, or this terrarium that takes a lot. So this is a little bit bigger terrarium. And so since that cocoa blocks is a little expensive, I mixed this one with aspen and cocoa. So the cocoa will hold the humidity, and the aspen doesn't hold humidity very well, but it does absorb any pee. And so this is a less expensive way to fill a big 55 to 60 gallon, is by mixing them. And then on this one, it's just straight cocoa, because it's a little bit smaller. So the advantage to using the cocoa is it really holds the humidity well. and I'll typically just spritz and moisten that cocoa when the snake's eyes go gray. They call that being in blue. So when it's in shed, I'll just mist that cocoa for a day or two, and then go back after a day and do it again. It tends to dry out after 2 to 3 days. So shed usually lasts like 7 to 10 days. So I'll do it every 2 to 3 days. And I don't soak it wet, I just mist it and then mix it around and mist it again. So it's just lightly damp, not soaking wet. You don't need to have it be soaking wet. And then it's the one of the cons is it is a little bit more expensive for that cocoa, but I think it lasts longer. It doesn't break down quite as much, especially if I'm going to leave it in a breeder female tub for a month or two. I want it to still be big chunks and not just powder. So anyhow, that's how I do it. I break down the cocoa in a tub, I stir it around, I let it get air dried, and then I only mist it as I need to when they're in shed. Okay, so I hope you liked that video, and I hope I answered all your questions. And put down in the comments if you have something that you're using that works for you, or if you see something I'm doing wrong that might be better for me. Okay, so put it in the comments if you have any questions or concerns. All right, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.